So, welcome to the Walking Dead Spoilercast. And I know this is put out late. I want to say at this time I would have the spoilercast of episode, what is it? This is episode 5 that I'm doing. So episode 6 I'm going to be putting up. If it's not up now, it's going to be put up a little bit later. But I'm still playing catch up. Yeah, it's just a lot that's been going on. But I'm here now, and I'm here to talk Walking Dead on this Walking Dead Spoilercast. Disclaimer, this is a Spoilercast. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. So if you are listening to this, then obviously you've watched it, or you just don't care. But if you do care, go ahead and watch the episode, come back to this, and we can go ahead and discuss it. So basically, this whole episode is called The Big Scary You. And yeah, this episode was very interesting. This is one of those cases of The Walking Dead and them kind of needing stuff to stretch out the show with. You know, it's kind of like, okay, so we have this narrative, this is what we're going to have happen, but we need episodes to where we have certain, this happen, that happen, and blah, blah, blah. And this comes down to where it's like, I ain't going to say this episode was boring, but, I mean, it really didn't have too much that happened in this episode. Nothing to have us be all shocked and wild and all this stuff. It was what it was. So this is the episode where we got to find out what Gregory was saying to, the saviors, and basically how the scene came about where he was exiting, basically just kicking people out if they were to go against the saviors and stuff like that. And it showed the meeting that he had with Negan and his fellow generals, I guess you could call it. And then basically, as well as what happened after those events of like Rick's group attacking there, and then just basically what happened with Gabriel and Negan getting trapped up in the trailer and just basically talking amongst each other and everything. And this episode, it was interesting. It was interesting, but it wasn't one of the better episodes that we've had since the season start. I'm not going to compare it with the other ones because, just like a lot of y'all, I barely remember it. But, yeah, when it comes to it, yeah, this is kind of like a slow one. But, yeah, so it shows the meeting between Negan and Gregory and him just basically just kind of nervous and just trying to, I guess you could say he was trying to save his own skin, trying to assure the saviors that, that he is in control of his community, and that they listen to him. And so they had concerns that maybe Maggie was really the person that was in control. And so he's trying to persuade them and all this stuff, and that's basically what it was. And then we get Gabriel and Negan talk basically in the trailer about just what happened and all that stuff. And Gabriel is trying to get a confession out of me because he's a preacher, reverend, or whatever you want to call it. Preacher. Let's just put it like that. He's a preacher, and that's basically what he does. He's a man of God. And so Negan had asked him basically, why did he, stop for him? Why did he, try and help Greg after all the stuff that he put him through, after he was, exiling people if they were to go against the saviors and all that stuff. And basically just said that he's a man of God, this and that. And just because of his faith, he couldn't just leave him out there to die, which I feel is stupid. But, I mean, not the whole religion thing, but, shit, come on, really? But in any case, so basically Gabriel gets to the point where he's trying to get a confession out of Negan, and just trying to, I guess you could say, figure out how he ticks, figure out why he does what he do, why he is the way he is, and just stuff like that. And you find out that Negan really doesn't feel guilty about anything that he's done. as you get further along in the episode, you do kind of feel like he does have some type of like guilt or anger, or he feels some type of way towards his past. That basically when this all started, he's kind of like he's a new person. And so you find out that he really doesn't feel guilty. He feels that he's basically justifying what he's doing, that he's doing it for the greater good. Even though he kind of walks that fine line. Like, I believe that he believes that he's doing the right thing, but I feel that he knows that he's not doing the right thing, but he wants to put on the persona that it is the right thing. Because when the question was brought up with his wives, it was like, he knows that he's doing wrong, and he's got called out by it, and now he's kind of like, it kind of strikes a nerve with him, and you get to know a little bit about his past and his wife and stuff like that, and just to get off of that real quick, I'm gonna probably go back to it, but it's like how he feels about building people up. Like I said, he doesn't feel guilty about it. He feels that like murdering people for the right reasons is not a bad thing. He feels that a lot of times he has to murder people. He has to do this. He has to do these unspeakable and horrible acts to people just to kind of build their character and make them stronger. Which you can argue, you could agree or you could disagree to a certain extent, And so is at one point where Gabriel tries to grab his gun, and then Negan tries to stop him, but he hides up in the room and all that stuff. And Negan, that's when he finally really confesses, and that's coming back to his whole thing about the wife, and he basically just confesses just about his wife, about how he cheated on her and all that stuff. And then Gabriel ends up coming out and confesses that he still feels guilty about what he did to his congregation when the apocalypse started, how they were like begging and pleading for him to open up the church doors, and he was so cowardly that he basically just locked them all out and didn't let anyone in, so they all died trying to get to safety, and he just didn't. So it was kind of like a two-way confession. At the end of the day, I ain't gonna say at the end of the day, at the end of all this, Gabriel ends up coming out and Negan punches him in the nose, and so they basically, find out that they kind of need each other to get out of the predicament that they're in. So they leave out and they just go against all these zombies. It's they go against all these zombies, and it's like, damn, was it actually smart to move out of the trailer? Was it really? And it's like they kind of go at it and they kind of tease a little bit. That they, died and all this stuff. Of course, Negan ain't gonna die, especially like that. Nah, he's too big of a villain to go out just with a zombie bite. No, he's gonna last a little long. I don't even think he's gonna die this season. That's my prediction. I don't think he's gonna die this season. I think he's probably gonna die next season. So that's just my predicament. That's just me. I haven't read the comic book, so don't think, I mean, it's a spoiler cast, but it's only for the show. But, don't think that, it's a spoiler for the comic book and all this stuff. Like, I haven't read the comic book. I haven't read a lick of the comic book. So, I don't know what it is, but that's just my guess, my speculation for it. What else do I got on the agenda? I ain't really got too much. This shouldn't be a real long episode. But, yeah, and so they, like I said, they teased them, probably almost, getting, eaten by the zombies, but they had to do the whole thing to go out there. I mean, it didn't last that long, but they had to do the thing where they killed the zombie, took his guts out, rubbed it all over them, and tried to walk amongst the zombies. And it, like I said, it didn't last that long, so they had to fight their way out of it. It teased them possibly dying, but we all know that they come back. And during this time, Negan's generals are all trying to figure out a way out of all this, trying to figure out Like, why did this happen? How did it happen? And all this stuff. What are the actions? What are they gonna do? They don't know if Negan is dead or alive, so they're trying to prepare for, like, if he is dead, we gotta make this move. If he is not dead, so how can we go about finding him and this and that and all this stuff? I mean, it's just all this stuff going on. So they're arguing amongst themselves, and then the whole retrospect come up of, or not the retrospect, but the whole thing come up of there may be a rat in the midst of everyone, that one of them has fed information, because they all kind of suspect that this didn't happen just coincidental, that this just didn't happen just because it just happened. This happened because somebody said something, set up something, gave some information and all that stuff. So they're suspecting a rat amongst everyone, and so it's getting a little tension inside the headquarters of the Savior. So it's crazy. And then we get this one scene where the factory workers are angry, and so they're basically just stepping up and saying that these are harsh conditions. All the electricity is off, food is scarce, and all this stuff, and so they're just demanding more. They want this more. And all this, while this is happening, Negan and Gabriel comes up in there, and you see the power that Negan has. Because once he starts whistling that Negan whistle that we all love to hate, everyone just literally gets down on their knees. And that's just so crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't get it. You have a person with power, and I get that. People that pledge allegiance, but it's like, I don't know. Like, it's a lot of stuff to go behind it. But basically, what I'm just trying to say is, like, if people want it, they could just literally, somebody could just walk up to Negan, bam, shoot him in the head, kill him. You can do that. But I don't know. A lot of people have allegiance. Sorry about that. Tired and all that stuff. But a lot of people have like a lot of allegiance to these leaders and stuff like that. So I kind of get that. Your loyalty and stuff. So, but I don't know. Like, all these workers getting down on one knee to a guy with a baseball bat, knowing that all of them could take him out. But you do have people with guns that are loyal to Negan. So they are Negan. So it is what it is. What else happened in this? And then we get to the end of it, and we find out that Gabriel may be sick. I mean, because Eugene comes to his quarters, his cell, I guess you could say, his room, and he checks on him because he didn't answer, and he sees that he's kind of like in the corner, just kind of like shivering and stuff like that. So I think he got bit while they were up in like during the zombie pit and stuff like that. I think he got bit. I think he's dying. I think that's what more than likely that is. I don't know. We'll find out next time they address it on the next Walking Dead. I don't know if it's the next one or it could be the one after that or the one after that. So you know how Walking Dead be. Whatever. It could happen next year. Because I think it said it got like 3 more episodes. Since I ain't did episode 7, after that, like 2 more episodes. So it's almost at its half time break. But during this, basically during all the discussions of the rat and stuff like that, we see that Dwight is basically the rat. And that Eugene figured it out. So it's like, is he going to out him? Is he going to keep it secret? Like, is he going to join them? Like, what's going to happen? So there's that scenario that I want to see play out. I don't know what's all going to happen, but it is what it is. Part of this episode, we have, after we're not getting away from all that, we have Rick and Daryl have some tension. They have some tension amongst each other, and just how to handle the saviors. Like, freaking Daryl wants to go in, guns blazing, but Rick, he's like, yo, we gotta do this more methodical, because they have a chance to use one of the missiles to shoot, to go at the Savior's, to go at, the Savior's place, or what do they call it, the Sanctuary, to go to the Sanctuary and just blast a hole in there with a rocket and just go in, just guns blazing. But Rick has the idea of just like, no, he don't want to do that, because you literally have people up in there that are innocent people, innocent wives, like men, children and stuff. And then you do that, you're going to kill a lot of them, which is going to put them in the mind frame of, I wasn't a warrior before, now I'm a warrior, and because we need to get back at them. Because when you think about it, a lot of times when you're trying to divide people or a country or a group or whatever, it usually makes them a little bit closer and reunite. So he feels like that's going to happen, is that, people are going to be wanting revenge. They're going to be angry. They're going to be sad and all this stuff that, they're going to want to retaliate. So what they're going to do, they're going to pick up a gun and try to, and basically reinforce Negan's army and make it a little bit bigger than what it was, because they're doing a good job of just mowing down the different outposts and stuff like that one by one. But when you take them out, but then you're still, but because of your actions, you're basically replacing some of them. It's like, it's not really a good thing. So, I mean, I kind of agree with Rick on that, is that it has to be more methodical. You can't just go gun blazing with them, because you can go guns blazing, but then something goes horribly wrong. It's like, yo, so you have to be more methodical. You have to find out where, when, how, why, and all this stuff before you actually go in. You need to get all your information and all that stuff, because more than likely Rick is a very smart guy. More than likely he has dominoes in place and he's just knocking them down one by one. Something that we're not even seeing. That just in case this doesn't happen, he's setting this up. In case that doesn't happen, he's setting this one up. So I think that's what it is. Rick is a very smart individual. I believe he has a trick up his sleeve, as we see going into the next episode, which I haven't watched yet, episode 7, is that he talks to the people that he talked to before that was in the junkyard. I forget what they call themselves, but he's talking with them again, trying to persuade them back over to helping Rick instead of helping the Savior. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna go. But yeah, so in Rick and Daryl, amongst their fighting, they lose all the weapons that they were going to use against them, and it just shows like where they're at now, and that they do have a little bit, of kind of a civil war. I ain't gonna say civil war, but kind of like disagreements and, opposite opinions and views on how to handle the situation. I mean, not even just with Rick and Daryl, but with Morgan and, Jesus and, what they believe how certain things should be handled. And you can see it kind of breaking apart a little bit, but not enough to really tear them apart and really make a big dent, at least not so far. So, but yeah, and so we get towards the end of the episode as well, and Rick sees a helicopter. And it's like, wow, where did this helicopter come from? Who's in it? Where, where is it going? So it's a lot of questions revolving around the helicopter, because this is something within this universe, in this world, that you're not going to see every day. So it's like, it has some significance. So I'm curious to see what type of significance. More than likely, that's going to be teased the last episode of this year going into next year. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. And so with that said, this concludes this Walking Dead spoiler cast of episode 5. Did I say episode 7 I was gonna watch episode 7? Yeah. That even came on there. They come on Sunday. I'm at episode 6. So this concludes this episode 5 review of the Big Scary You of The Walking Dead. Go ahead, hit the likes up. Well, hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. And hit the subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Comment and share and all that good stuff. Turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified of anything that drops on my channel. And yeah, thank you guys for listening, and hope you guys bear with me as I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. Episode 6 should be coming up soon if it's not up already, as well as I got 2 episodes of The Gifted that I will be dropping. So go ahead and look out for that, and I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace.